Hey guys, Anthony for Before Adventures. I suppose it's a bit of an adventure. Just recently we went on a trip in the high country and we've found ourselves in that really overgrown track. We've been through a few of those before and we don't like it. We avoid those, but this one we sort of got stuck in. It was very narrow, you couldn't turn around. It was like, is it going to come clear? You've done this much pain so far, is it all going to be for nothing? Anyway, we went through. Once you've been through a few hundred metres, you might as well keep going because it's all the same, more of the same. Now, it's not the end of the world, it's not catastrophic, and this is the whole point I'm trying to make now is I've just spent about half an hour on this vehicle and I'm going to give you an idea what I've done so you're not wasting too much time, so you're not worried, so you're not stressing out unnecessarily, and so you're not going to wreck your paintwork. Now, I'm not a qualified detail or polisher or anything like that. I just know some basics about paintwork, automotive technician, whatever they know about paintwork, not much, but I'm going to tell you what I did and it works for me. I've owned this vehicle since 2014, so it's about 7 years. It's the longest I've ever owned a vehicle, and you can see a couple of things, obviously. Keeping it out of sun undercover as much as you can, except for when it's in use on trips, and that is helpful. You can see the condition of the headlights. They're not too bad. They're actually looking really good there at the moment, because I just gave them a quick hit, literally about 3 minutes on each headlight, and this is what I use anyway. I'm not promoting any brands or anything, whatever, but it's just like a polish. It's got some cutters in it, and it really sort of rips into it and cleans it up. If you park it in the sun, it's not going to stay like a new headlight for many years, like the original new headlight did like that. It's going to take 6 months or 3 months, or depends whereabouts in the world you are, or Australia, north, south, east, west, and all that sort of thing. It's going to depend on use, but keeping it clean does help. So regular car washing once a week or two, nice warm soapy water, make sure you rinse it off, don't let it dry. And that's how this all started, okay? So I went, it's looking pretty average. It was due for a cleanup. I like to give it a bit of a light polish cleanup protection coat, maybe every 6 months, 12 months, something like that. I don't want to spend every weekend. I haven't got time to clean the car I'm not that guy. I'd love to have that much pride in the vehicle. I haven't got time for it. And you know what? That's what you do when you haven't got something better to do. Just wash your car and clean your car the whole time. So I do like a clean car. I like to keep it clean. I do clean it a bit. Even on a trip, I'll go, mate, what an awesome spot to be sitting on Ivanhoe Crossing with one of my favourite yellow cloths. Sitting on the crossing early in the morning, just after the sun rises, nobody's around, and I'm just there, waiting for some crocs and using that yellow cloth to give the car a bit of a clean. It's beautiful. Anyway, what have I done here? So I decided I want to give it a clean up. The first thing we need to do before we touch the paintwork is make sure it's clean. So it went out for a quick wash. I only washed the windows and the sides and the bonnet. I didn't scrub the bull bar, scrub the steps or the wheels or the roof or anything like that. All I was doing the pinstripe areas that were pinstriped and that are going to cop more pinstriping to make it look a little bit better and give it some protection, plus the bonnet, because I can see the bonnet when I'm driving, so that's very important. It needs to look schmick, and might save me 0.00001% of fuel because it's nice and slippery on the bonnet when the wind hits it. I doubt it makes any difference, but I thought I'd throw that in there. I haven't finished my final cleanup. You may be able to see some polish around the snorkel just there, see some white bits and whatever. That'll just come off most likely with a pressure washer. Hit it up nice and close. Pressure washer, my one anyway. It's not going to damage the paintwork or anything else. You could probably put it against the paintwork as long as there's not a stone chip or something, and the paint's in reasonable condition. Anyway, this was looking really average. I don't know how much you can see from here. I can walk around, but the way the light is with cameras, you've got to be here. I can run my hand down that now. It is just beautiful. So it looks good, it feels good. There's nothing wrong with the paintwork. Now, to give you a bit of peace of mind, if you do hit a pinstripe track, basically, if you wet the vehicle and you can't see the scratches, then they're not deep scratches. You know what I mean? So you've got your silver paint, for example, here, and you've got a clear coat over the top. There's only a limited amount of coat there. If you cut and polish and really cut the paintwork and hit it with buffs at speed, you are taking material off. You're taking paint off. Once you get through the clear, it's all over. It's not good. You don't want to do this, so don't do this to your vehicle. So A, don't panic. It's usually not the end of the world, unless it's those, if you've got those dead berry bushes, those brown ones we talked about in that other video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, subscribe, turn the bell on, and make sure you don't miss all this information, because it's important stuff to help save you money and all that stress. Because once you get those, they're like razor blades and they cut into your paintwork, and you're not going to polish those out. You can hide them pretty well, but you're not going to cut them out. So you want to avoid that sort of stuff. You've got to be careful what you go into. If it's green and overgrown, freshly overgrown, it's probably not going to be too bad. And the more protection you've got on the paintwork, again, I'm not selling any brands or anything, but this is what I usually use last right? And that was pointed out to me by another Prado owner who uses it. And heaps of people use this, right? So cleaner wax, well, it actually does do that, right? So you can read the directions. It's got a little applicator under the lid. Once your car's clean, you can just put that on like that, and then you just go with your cloth, you know, nice soft polishing cloth. I just do it by hand, you know, you can, and like that, and you just keep folding it over till, you know, I've got heaps of those, whatever. But what I've done this time, because that's not really a polish that cleans, that takes anything off or whatever the case may be, but I didn't want to use cutters. Now, when I say cutters, I'll show you another product that I didn't use as well, okay? Don't use this, right? So this is like, think of it, it's got sandpaper in it. That's the easiest way. I don't know what it's got in it. It's not sand, but you know, it's what they call cutters. That's why it's called cut and polish, right? So whatever it is in there, it'll probably tell you on there. I don't know or care. Somebody can put it in the comments. But once you, it's like sandpaper, right? So once you use that, it's the, like it says, heavy duty rejuvenator. And you're ripping into the paint, and this is what I'm talking about taking it off and wearing it out, and you do that, well, every time you go on a trip, mate, you're gonna have no paint left at the end of a couple of years. Your paint's gonna be stuffed. So don't do it ever. That's for when you've got a really bad scratch, like some really bad gouge into it, and you can't clean it up and you can't live with it, and you've got to get it off. It's more for when you sell the vehicle, right? It's a hot day here today. Did you notice? Can you see the reflection? I'm standing here with no shirt on. Can everyone notice that, right? So I hope you like what you see. Hopefully you don't see too much because it's not the best. But anyway, it's all good. I just thought I'd put that out for you. All right, there you go. So what we do is we use this. This is really old, this bottle. I'm going to show you the bottle. It's really old, okay? I'm going to leave it upside down because there's not much left. There's only sort of this much left in the top there. It's just your old turtle wax, you know. Not worried about the super hard shell, but it says car wax auto super hard shell finish, easy on, hard shell, shine and protection, whatever, right? I don't know, but that's what works. And I've got this El Cheapo. I'll bring you over the bench in a minute. That'll be the easiest way. Let's do that now. That's a good idea. Okay, so this is our tools of the trade. We've got the El Cheapo Rockwell, I'm going to call this a vibrator. It's like an orbital polisher, right? I don't want you to use high-speed buffs and stuff. That's for professionals and people that know what they're doing. Hold it still too long, you could melt and damage your paintwork or stickers or lights or whatever the case may be. This is pretty safe for idiots like me, right? So you can get different things that go on that. Normally I use something that's like a towel like this that covers it, but they're all gone, sort of stuffed, the elastic's gone, and I didn't have any, so all I had was this lamb's wool, but it did the job. So it's more of a, normally you put the other one on, polish, put it on with that and take it off with this, but I went, you know what, I'm not polishing with my arm, so I'm going to use this to apply and polish, and that's what I did. So it didn't come through there. It's about to go in the wash with all these. Just don't tell the missus. Huh? No, she's cool. She washes them, but you know, separately, and maybe she gives it a bit of a rinse out afterwards. I don't know, maybe with some of the other towels and things that I supply, but basically what I did, step one, clean the car, dry the car. Step two, I used this product. For people that want to know what I did, works for me, you know. Don't use something like this, right? And just, I put a few dobs around, and then I walked along the side of the vehicle and I sort of went like that and dobbed it out like that. I'm sort of spreading it a little bit on here and along the paintwork, and then bang, I switch it on and away we go. This is doing its thing all the way along the sides, up and down. And literally I'm going to spend no more than about 3 to 4 minutes on each side doing that. Right, up and down, top, up, down, left, right, whatever, cover all the areas. I don't care if I miss a bit. It's not a 100% job, it's a 90% job. Makes the car look really good. If you look closely, you'll still see some pinstripes because you need to cut it out. If you want to get rid of it permanently, do that when you're not going to go for it. That's when you're going to sell the car if you decided, I'm not doing this anymore. I've had enough of these bloody pinstripes. Anthony's taken me down these tracks, and you're going to sell the car or not go on the tracks. Then you cut it up and away you go. But be very careful how you do it and what you use. I'm not telling you how to do that. I'm telling you to use this stuff like that. That's what I did. And then I wiped it off with this, had a look. I went, yeah, that looks good. But then I like this is my protection, right? So then I took this off. There's a little applicator inside the lid. Let's see if the lid's there. It's not going to come off one-handed. But there's a little applicator under there. Bang. Smells great too. I love the smell of stuff. You're not meant to breathe it or touch it, but it smells great. Yep, still on my fingers, right? Anyway, we go along the paintwork and just basically you're applying it. It's not, you rub a little bit, small circles, you know, like anything, like any polishing. Circles is the go, not rubbing up and down, putting streaks and lines. It's a circular motion when polishing. You know, Google it, watch some other videos or something. Maybe someone that knows what they're doing will show you. But careful, because there's lots of people that don't know what they're doing. Apply that, and then you can go along and just wipe it off with this. But what I did this time, while this had the green stuff on it still, as it is, as you see it, I did one side of the vehicle, applying this, and then I went over it again with that again quickly, again, only a few minutes, and then I did a final wipe off with that. So you wipe when it gets dirty like that, you fold it, so that's the dirtier one, and so on and so on, and you go to your next one, and I've got a few more of those, don't worry. And then when you're all done and dusted, so then you want to remove the polish. Look, the old school four-wheel drive thing was you leave the polish on because it allows it to slip, but that just looks messy and all the dust sticks to it, and it just looks terrible. And then there's dust stuck to it. I'd rather the dust didn't stick. So when I'm done polishing, I actually go wash again. I go wash any excess of pressure washer, light soap wash. Not harsh soaps, because that's what dissolves and washes all this stuff off. You want your paintwork to be slippery, not like this. See that? What that bench is? That's not slippery. And then when the sticks hit it, they just slide over it. They don't gouge in, get me? That's why you want your protection. It looks good, protects the paint, probably does other good things as well, I hope. Anyway, that's what I did. It looks great. Let's go and have another look at the vehicle and see if we can demonstrate. Have a look at that headlight. It's just beautiful. I don't know, in the bonnet here, I don't know what we can, you can see the reflection of the roof. It's just so smooth. Look, I just, you know, you're going to see, if you look close, right, I can't see it. It just looks beautiful. You can see the floor in it. The paintwork is just fantastic. You can see the leg of the hoist down there, you know. Let's look a bit more closely. If we look really close, can you see those lines in the camera? There's some lines there I can see if I look hard. I can polish those out, but I'm not worried about those. That's what I said. It's a 99% thing, right? Anyway, I reckon it come up. That'd be awesome. Here we're over the other side at the back here. It's just smooth, right? And then you get around here, you got to do these parts by hand, this sort of thing, but it's just smooth. Everything's going to slide over it. It's just beautiful to touch. It looks good to me. Let's get it out in the sun and see what we can see. Bit breezy out here, but look at this. Just beautiful. You can even see me in the reflection. And hi, how you going, guys? How you going? Here you go, royal wave. Anyway, don't worry about this. This is real damage. This is what happens when, you know, you go full driving and you do things that maybe you shouldn't. You end up rubbing around a little bit there. That's what happened there. Mud flaps have been replaced once. Mud spats, whatever you want to call them. But see the paintwork? Look at that. That's the paintwork we're looking at. If you look deeply, you might see some pinstripes. But the point is, you know, you can polish it all out. Anything that won't polish out is kind of like what you'll see now, or it just needs a bit more work. Now see this? Can you see those scratches? That's where someone keyed the car when I was parked at Woolworths. Just came off Fraser on, you know, that first Woolworths down there at Urangan. Anyway, bloody terrible behaviour, because I know the car and it doesn't get scratches, and it was alright, and then I came back and boom, so somebody's going, oh yeah, nice Prado. You can tell it's someone's done it on purpose, because see, it goes up and down. Someone's tried really hard, I reckon. Think like the scumbags and you'll figure it out. This side, look, you'll see similar, see? See those scratches there and that big. I did a big dodgy touch up because it was all black and that really ripped the paint off that one, but the majority of the vehicle, as you can see, bloody beautiful. I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed with it myself. See down here, so we're out of the sun now on the non-sun side. You can see some scratches that'll polish out. I obviously just did this side. Here's all right, but here's got to, maybe I missed that bit. Anyway, that's what I mean. It was a really quick hit. Anyway, hopefully that's helped. And I've just put it through the car wash 100 times and the water still beads. Now, of course I didn't put it through the car wash 1,000 times. I just wet it. Like I said, the pressure washer, up close range. Let's get in here and have a look. All those white marks are on around the snorkel and that, all gone, no dramas at all. So you can also run it along these rubbers, don't go too close, and pays to get your cleaning cloth and give it a bit of a scrub as well. But yeah, get any excess polish off. We're getting close to the end now. I just want to show you, I didn't polish the back. See the difference? See the water, how it stays here and it beads, right? And here it doesn't. Here, no squeaky, it's just smooth, beautiful. Here, it's got a bit of resistance, not too bad because it's been done before, but look at that, see how the water just does not bead, didn't even want to think about it on the back. It's just beautiful, mate. Beautiful. So the key point is, before we finish up here, and we're just about done, If you liked it so far, hit the like button, or you can do that at the end. Subscribe, turn the bell on. No need to spend a lot of money on something like this. I've had this for about, I don't know, 10 years, something like that. I think before that I used to borrow one off someone once a year, because it's like, I don't need everything. It's like, you know, you don't need to own everything, so just, you borrow one off your mate, like a wheelbarrow. Everybody doesn't need a wheelbarrow, right? Everybody doesn't need one of these, because you use it once a year. So what you do is say, well, you get the wheelbarrow and I'll get the polisher, and you do this with your group of people, of friends or family or whatever, and you share each other's stuff, right? You know, it's something you're going to use once a year. Everybody doesn't need like a 10-foot ladder, or I don't know, whatever size ladder. Everybody doesn't need a big ladder. How often do you use it? Twice a year? You just borrow it, right? We don't need it. We don't all need to own one. Anyway, start off with it clean. Don't use harsh cutters. Don't use high-speed buffers. Just use your low speed. Do it by hand. You don't need to spend a lot of time. Don't worry about it if you've been on pinstripes. Cleans up really well. I'm really happy with that. And if you want to see it, you can see it tomorrow morning in Melbourne at the Macca's Calder BP truck stop. Macca's outbound near Calder Raceway. We're meeting at 8 a.m. You better get there early. We're leaving there by 8 a.m. Leaving there by 8 a.m. So if you want to see the 120 and see how smooth it really is on the sides, you can be there at 7:45. You can come for a drive, or you can just check out the 120 and then head your own way at 8 o'clock as we head off. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Bit of a day trip tomorrow. Looks like there's some washing to do here. Just trying to help you understand. Don't worry too much about the paintwork. Pick your colours carefully. What's awesome, that shows up the least, and all the light colours like silver or dusty bronze or these champagne sort of colours, hide things least. Black is your worst colour for off-road. Sorry for the people that got black. I'm sure they don't care anyway, because black looks schmick when it's clean and Mickey Mouse, so that's good. But it is the hottest colour as well. It's the hardest to keep cool. It absorbs the heat. White's the coolest. White's the cheapest. It's not metallic, you know. White is the wise man's colour, but if you're sick of white and you just need a little bit of bling, it's silver and dusty bronze and these sorts of things. You've got to be careful you don't get a old man's colour, but let's see how the dusty bronze goes, eh? Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm out of here. See ya. Hope it helps. Thumbs up. Ciao. Bye.